Hey, you Stygian dogs, it's October 2nd, and this marks the release of issue number 2 of Battle of the Black Stone from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures, titled Battle of the Black Stone, Part 2, Bond of the Black. Jim Zub and Jonas Scharf unite the heroes of man in a manner most macabre. We'll take a thorough look at the book, but first, while you go out and buy it, let's quickly recap last month's issue, and then we'll take a look at this month's covers. Conan of Cimmeria discovers a grand gateway crowned in black stone, while across time and space, the heroes of man are introduced. The soul-searing sigil in James Allison's cosmic cry will chain them to a nightmare bathed in black. Now on to the covers. Cover A is from Roberto de la Torre, featuring Conan in battle with Solomon Kane. Cover B, featuring Brissa, is from Nick Marinkovich. Cover C is from Patch Zircher, capturing Borak in whirling action. And here, the supernaturally charged Cover D from Max von Fafner. Now, let's take a look at this exciting issue. And here we go. I'll flip through the book, present a few close-ups of panels. I'll try not to read too much verbatim, and I will outline the general plot and happenings. I want you to be curious and to grab your own copy. Seriously, I implore you, I beseech you, buy these comics. I want to give you a sense of how things look and to convey some excitement and a few summary thoughts. But be warned, if you want a pure reading experience, and I know you do, I would caution you about spoilers. If inclined, feel free to skip ahead to the conclusion. On the inside cover, an advertisement for a new chapter of the massive narrative event and the forthcoming Conan, Cult of the Obsidian Moon by James Lovegrove. I'm definitely excited to check this one out. Opposite that, credits for the teams at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. As with the ongoing monthly series, we begin with the truncated version of the Numidian Chronicles, a map of the Hyborian Age, and a summary of events thus far. The heroes of man, in spectral singularity, behold a manifestation of hell. Across time and space, James Allison, restless, roving, drifting, uncusped and bounded no more. Battle of the Black Stone, Part 2, Bond of the Black. Grim Jim Zub, writer. Jaunty Jonas Scharf, artist. Jumping Joao Canola, color artist. Rascally Richard Starkings and Comicraft's Titanic Tyler Smith, lettering. Calamitous Chris Butera, editor, and Merciless Matt Murray, consulting editor. The ethereal emanation has been lured, drawn to spirits of strength, and the courage born of heroes or fools. Warning, dead, we are all dead. An even-keeled Kirowan questions the phantom, be he merely a messenger? Once, merely a man, clutching the sand slipping through our fingers. Allison's words resound throughout the ages as spoken to Kirowan, responded to by Conan, Agnes, and Kane. Zub and Scharf wonderfully capture the temporal singularity. Gordon lashes out, damning Allison as the one looming over him all these years, plaguing his nightmares with the damned sigil. No, says Allison, not a sigil, a word, marking the hunted. A sparking fissure of light breaks the silence of the Wanderers Club, devouring the air, crackling with unknowing eldritch energy. With a deafening thunderclap wrought from beyond, there comes a beast. A giant, pillar-smashing monstrosity, the hell-wrought behemoth that Solomon Kane did battle with in Savage Sword of Conan number 4. Many times have Conrad and Kirowan encountered the supernatural, yet never so suddenly, so horrifying. Its terrifying speed and crushing strength, screams of agony as its searing claws rend mortal flesh to ash. As guests flee to the exits, Borak springs to action, still swift, but not swift enough. Conrad, brandishing his pistol, is struck as if by a sledgehammer, prepared to die. The strike of a spear slayer bids the beast back. The picked from time-lost lands makes new friends, the tip of her spear of wary focus. A black smoke followed the thunderous crash of the beast's disappearance and four-shaken souls amidst its carnage. Heroes or fools assembled in ages past to break or be broken, and a pulling of steadfast souls. To the Hyborian Age and a shocked Conan, For Brissa, only scant days have passed since she was last with the Cimmerian. Caught in the curse of the Black Stone's doom sent darkness, her people stunted slaves to the sigil. Kane interrupts to question the devil spawn, weapon in hand, demanding explanation. A threat to be fiercely and quickly quelled, Kane's quarry born on a battlefield and strong as sin. Kirowan intervenes, common cause trumping random rage, and Conrad alerts as to Gordon's condition. Borak and Behemoth both here and in Arabia. 1919, having tasted the blood of its prey, the beast will find it wherever and whenever it may be. Kill or be killed. The peerless gunfighter has no time to be terrified. Frontier instincts come to the fore. True to his nickname, Gordon's speed takes him out of reach of the beast's crushing claws. No time to pause for pain. His wounded self in the Hyborian present urges on his younger self in the future past. Borak delivers a blow that would have killed any other, and he knows his time is up. Reality rent asunder, the beast's vengeance is felt across time and space, the heroes of man receiving a message as bloody and bright as the moon. It is time to slay or be slain. The beast from the stone will not stop until all are murdered or driven mad. The choice is simple. Flee or fight. 6 souls standing upon the precipice, and our story is to be continued. And so ends issue number 2 of Battle of the Black Stone. The team now assembled, it feels like we're at the start of the adventure proper. I definitely enjoyed the time-spanning parallel storytelling, the appearance of Patch Zircher's Behemoth from Savage Sword of Conan number 4, and the horror of the beast's ghastly vengeance felt across the yawning void of time and space, reality rent asunder, as Francis Xavier Gordon's time comes to swift end. Not that I'm happy about it, but man, it was a great issue, leaving me excited for what's to come. Opposite the final page of the story, we find the covers gallery. And then turning the page, another essay from Jeff Shanks, this one titled Mistress of Death, The Legend of Dark Agnes. We begin with text from Robert E. Howard's Sword Woman. The room swam to my gaze, and the scent of fresh blood, swimming in the entrails of the slain, revolted me. "Is this your work, girl?" asked Guichard. I shook back my damp hair and struggled to my feet, swaying dizzily. It was a debt I had to pay. "By God," he muttered, staring. "There is something dark and strange about you for all your fairness." "Aye, dark Agnes," said Etienne, lifting himself on elbow. A star of darkness shone on her birth, of darkness and unrest. Wherever she goes shall be blood spilling and men dying. Shanks begins by introducing us to Howard's 16th century peasant girl turned bloodthirsty, sword-wielding mercenary, Agnes de Chastillon. While only being in 3 stories and none appearing within the author's lifetime, she's developed something of a cult following. The character first appears in Sword Woman. Written in the summer of 1934, it is very much her origin tale. Forced by her father to marry against her will, she stabs her would-be groom and flees, falling in with and eventually betrayed by the roguish adventurer Etienne Villers. After bloody mayhem and a brutal beating delivered to Etienne, she joins a mercenary captain who trains her in the use of sword and pistol. She eventually rejoins a forgiven Etienne, and the pair find themselves embroiled in political intrigue. Agnes and Etienne reunite in Blades of France, encountering several historical figures, again fighting their way through political entanglements. The third and final Agnes story contains supernatural elements likely aimed at Howard's Weird Tales audience, but alas, the story is incomplete. It's thought that inspiration for Agnes may have come from Black God's Kiss, the first Jurel of Jouare's story by Catherine L. Moore, or perhaps the character was inspired by Howard's romantic interest in Novelyn Price. Here I'd refer you to the movie The Whole Wide World, starring Vincent D'Onofrio and Renee Zellweger. While we may never know the true inspiration for the character, perhaps it was a combination of the two. Jeff notes that Agnes's stories are written in the first person, something unusual for Howard, perhaps suggesting that, despite gender differences, Howard might have been subconsciously expressing through the voice of Agnes his own frustration and anger at being trapped by the societal expectations of his particular situation. A fantasy fiction writer stuck in a small rural town where men were expected to be farmers, ranchers, or oil field workers. And in closing, while we may never know the full origins, Dark Agnes is by far one of Howard's most intriguing and unique characters. After Jeff Shanks' must-read essay, we come to a Q&A with artist Jonas Scharf. It covers the work for which Jonas is most known and proud of, his first introduction to Conan, his artistic process, and which Robert E. Howard character he'd like to explore more fully if given a chance. Make sure you check it out. And on the back cover, Conan Battle of the Black Stone event reading order. It's a checklist of the many different properties you might want to check out to prepare for this epic miniseries event. Check out my recent Conan catch-up for more details. At the close of issue number 1, I'd wondered how Jim Zub would deal with his large cast of characters, while also noting that Solomon Kane and Dark Agnes had limited panel space in that issue, and that Brissa was completely absent. As I suspected, and understandably so, Brissa made a prominent appearance this time around. Some may feel like Conan received short shrift in the issue, but I'd say it was necessary to drive the story forward and to set things in motion for the second half of the miniseries. And given the threat that has been foreshadowed, I think we can rest easy in the knowledge that the Cimmerian will continue to be a dominant force in the story. Bringing the entire cast of characters to the single setting seems a wise choice. It's entertaining for the reader and likely helps to tighten things up story-wise, and it allows for greater impact should we see any further mind-bending temporal shifts like we did in El Borak's storyline. Now, the bold decision to so soon in such macabre fashion remove a character from the story certainly helps to streamline things from a character count perspective, and that moment of weird horror was terribly effective, emphasizing the true threat of their adversary. It was basically Zub letting us know that he's not fooling around. And of course, we can rest easy knowing or hoping that Conan's inevitable success will undo the terror that the heroes of man suffer throughout the story. Agnes again saw little action and would seem a likely focus for elaboration in the next issue. Kane saw a little more action this time around in his confrontation with Conan, but it's the fact that the heroes confront the foe familiar to Solomon Kane in Savage Sword of Conan number 4 that helps to accentuate the Puritans' possible role in things. It was a pleasure to see Patch Zircher's horrifying monster brought to these pages by Jonas Scharf. Seeing the behemoth presented across books adds depth and continuity to the story, so I would recommend having Savage Sword number 4 at your side for another quick read as you dig into number 2. With stakes brought into sharp focus and the sense of weird turned up to 11, Jim Zub, Jonas Scharf, and Joao Canola have succeeded in giving us a morbidly exciting second part to this ambitious 4-issue miniseries. As the remaining heroes of man prepare to delve deep into a black nightmare, things are just getting started, leaving the reader to contemplate just what sort of crucible they are entering into and who will come out unscathed, confident that greater adventure is yet to come in issues number 3 and 4. Thanks for watching, liking, consider subscribing. Let me know your thoughts on the issue, any disappointments, have you any theories on where it'll go? And until next time, take it easy, you Stitchin' Dogs.